Example, DPWH, pataas ng pataas. Kaya nga po, tapos yung mga kalsada, panipis ng panipis. Habang tumataas ang kanilang budget, numinipis yung mga kalsada, substandard yung mga ginagamit ng mga
Naman, umiikli lang.
Well, tama ka dyan, sir. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, umiikli, numinipis na. Umiikli na, numinipis pa. Yun eh. And then, sila yung tinatambakan ng napakarami bilyones na budget. Samantalang mga agency na equally important as well, ini-slash lang ng budget at will. Kung kailan lang na gustong i-slash, mag-i-slash lang sila. Yun unfortunately nakakalungkot, Mr. Chair.
I promised Senator Tulfo that we would sit down soon because one of the major reasons why I think it's easy to source out funds is if you look at the absorptive capacity of the agencies, sa laki ng mga budget nila, hindi naman nagagamit na pwede naman gamitin yung fiscal space to fund, for example, LEB or other concerns. For example, ewan ko lang, under the helm of Secretary Vice President Sara Duterte, the school building program is delayed by 2 years. We allocate approximately 30 billion every year to build new classrooms, pero delayed siya by 2 years. Sayang yung fiscal space of 60 billion, hindi naman pala nila may implement this year, tanggalin na muna this year, gamitin na muna nila yung pondo last year, implement it, then you have that space that you can reallocate. And that happens almost every year. Kaya lang, pangit tingnan dahil in-slash mo yung school building program. But then again, hindi naman nila mga gastos talaga eh. That's why year on year, we keep on extending the validity of the budget because they can't implement the budget. I'll answer
Yun nga,
that.
Mr. Chair, they were given the budget that they requested, just like you mentioned sa DepEd, hindi nagagamit. Whereas, itong ibang mga agency tulad ng LEB, nagsubmit din sila ng budget na kailangan talaga nila, and yet ini-slash. Yung mga hindi nangangailangan, nagsubmit na hindi naman talaga pala kailangan hanggang sa naging unutilized yung budget na ibinigay. Nasasayang. Sana, ibinigay na lang sa mga agency tulad ng LEB na every single cent ay magagamit nila yung budget na yon na isinabit nila.
I will work with Senator Tulfo to see that that will happen in the 2024 budget because 2023 budget is too late already to change or discuss. It can only be done via supplemental budget, which is rarely done, if at all. But to answer, Attorney Bad, the reason is all of a sudden DPWH required soil testing. Before the construction of any school, soil testing must be made and therefore, nagturuan sila, saan kukunin yung perang dyan? Wala naman din sa program. So nagturuan sila ng mga 1 taon sa walang nagawang bagong school. In the middle of it, nagpalabas ng bagong order ang DepEd na dapat maliwanag na nakatitulo yung lupa ng eskwelahan na tatayuan sa DepEd. Ang problema, mga 80% ng mga lupain na kung saan nakatayo yung mga eskwelahan, nawala na nung principal na nag-retire yung titulo, dinonate pero nawala na yung deed of donation. So legally, they cannot construct the school building on this parcel of land that is not yet titled in the name of the government. So, yan.
Galing mo, Mr.
Sakit
Chair.
na ulo, no?
Tama nga naman. Expose yun.
Sakit na ulo, no? So we passed a law on the titling of DepEd lands and authorizing them to expropriate, but it's still taking them time. I think they're only at 30+% as of last time I was here 3 years ago. Pero tama naman, baka magpagawa ka ng school building, binabawi ng mga eredero nung nag-donate na namatay na yung lupa. So baka sa dulo, manalo sila, may building yung pribadong may-ari ng lupa, nawalan tayo ng building.
So dapat from the moment na i-donate yung lupa, agad-agad magpalabas ng deed of donation.
Meron, pero nilalagay ng principal sa drawer niya, pag-retire niya, wala nang may alam kung nasan yan. There is no procedure in DepEd. I'm talking 3 years ago, Senator Tulfo, by which these documents are collected and gathered and actually processed with the ending goal end goal of actually having a title in the name of the Republic.
So dapat makasuhan yung principal, Mr. Chair, kung tatanungin. Kasi kapabayan yung ginawa niya na she knows better na that's a sensitive document, very important document na dapat sinasubmit sa DepEd.
Kung buhay pa,
Tinatago dapat at meron dapat isang safe doon na doon ilalagay yung
kung
mga
buhay pa yung principal, Senator Tulfo. Pangalawa, dinonate ng barangay captain, nung tumakbo siya, nung natalo, binawi na. Ang daming mga malulungkot na kwento tungkol
O dinonate,
sa probinsya.
o dinonate na matagal ni Yorme, ni Gob.
Dinonate, tas natalo, dun sa barangay na yun,
Yes.
babawiin na, o
Exactly.
yung namatay yung mayor ng kapitan, yung mga kamag-anak, yung mga anak, yung mga apo, naghirap ang buhay, gusto nang bawiin. So, maraming kwento.
But the question, Mr. Chair, wala bang budget yung DepEd para sa pagbili ng mga lupa na itatayo ng mga school buildings?
It's a matter of allocation. At the end of the day, governance is about allocating scarce resources. If you're able to allocate scarce resources, then you govern properly. That is always the challenge for each agency. That is always the challenge for Congress, how to allocate. Palagi naman kulang yung budget eh. Wala pa yata ang budget na sobra, siksik at liglig eh. Lahat ng budget naman kulang eh. So our challenge is, paano patamain? As I discussed earlier, I'm willing to work with Senator Tulfo in order to find the necessary fiscal space within the 2024 budget in order to fund the requirements of the LEB.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It can be
Thank
sourced.
you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
If there are no comments, Chair directs that the concomitant amendments suggested by LEB and by Justice Villanueva of the Supreme Court be incorporated in the proposed bill of Senator Tulfo. I just have one question, ma'am. So saan na kayo under?
We actually under the Office of the President, Mr. Chair.
So directly na, Office of the President, parang Ched.
Opo, actually.
Next, how are appointments to be made? In the bill,
through
it only says JBC kayo?
Opo, we're the only executive agency which is vetted by the JBC, Mr. Chair.
And this was not struck down by the Supreme Court?
No, not struck down at all.
Yes, but it says, shall be appointed by the President without prejudice from a list of 3 nominees prepared with prior authorization from the Supreme Court by the Judicial and Bar Council. Ano ibig sabihin nun?
Because the JBC is under the umbrella of the Supreme Court, Mr. Chair.
I know. I sat for several years in the JBC as chair of the Committee on Justice, but saan galing yung phrase na with prior authorization? This is the first time I came across such a provision.
I think that's in the original. That is in the original law, po, Mr. Chair. That's not.
Yes, but JBC nyo na, ganun na. The Chief Justice sits as chair of the JBC, right?
Yes.
He's supposed to speak for the entire court. Prepared by the JBC na lang, tanggalin natin yung with prior
pwede.
authorization from the
Yeah.
Supreme Court. Because it means it's subject to a resolution by the court. En banc,
Correct. Yes.
in theory. When in fact the court en banc is represented by the Chief Justice in the JBC. In fact, his votes reflect that of the justices.
We agree, Mr.
Delete.
Chair. Delete, yes.
Secretary is directed to take note. It will be deleted. Now, where does it say here that you are now under the office of the president, or it's just silent with respect to you being under CHED for budgetary purposes?
Well, because I think under the administrative code, if the agency does not, if the organ of the government is not reporting to any, then
Yes,
you
but
are
where does it
under.
stay here?
It's also silent, Mr. Chair.
Kindly work with our staff. Specify nyo na that the LEB shall be under the office of the president. The office of the president has about 70 offices anyway under it. This will only be one of them. CHED is one of them too. Pakituro na lang sa amin kung saan mo gusto ilagay yan.
Where are we?
Not necessary now. Kindly work with our staff, with the committee.
We will do that, Mr. Chair.
Any other changes or amendments, Senator Tulfo, that you would like to make?
Okay na, Mr. Chair.
Pakitulong na rin sa amin kung saan lalagay yung Sharia, yung sabi ni Justice Villanueva. Strengthening of Sharia.
Yes, we will do that, Mr. Chair.
Because it was not mentioned in one of the slated purposes of CHED, of LEB. Wala na po, Senator Tulfo.
Wala na. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you po.
Chair hereby orders that Senate Bill number 1653 in consolidated with Senate Bill number 1639 is hereby approved.